HaKadosh Boker Tov. We're continuing with the halachot of Havdalah, which is Siman Res Tzadik Tet. Maran brings down in Sif Yod that we are prohibited to do a melacha on Motzei Shabbat until it is for sure nighttime, which means that there's going to be 3 stars outside. And even after that, we always have to be Mosif, right? Mechol ala Kodesh. What does that mean? That we're going to add on that we can't stop exactly when it's nighttime. We have to add on to the Shabbat. And only after adding on to the Shabbat, then we could take out Shabbat. And technically speaking, the most important, or one of the things which is fitting to be Mahmid, is like Rabbeinu Tam, at least the melachot which are surot min Torah. What does that mean? Things which are prohibited from the Torah. So that we just understand the differences between min Torah or midrabanan. Driving a car is min Torah, right? Amazon cards, those are drabanan, which means that things which have to do with mekach umemkar or anything to do with muktzeh is midrabanan. But to do with Rabbeinu Tam, we should at least be fitting, right, to be stringent on Rabbeinu Tam in Doraita, right, which means at least in the Doraita. The Rabbanan's fine, but at least in the Doraita that you have it. And then we have many different shitot as well. What exactly is Rabbeinu Tam? There's a famous shita of Rav Moshe Feinstein that here in America, Rabbeinu Tam is 50 minutes, which means 50 minutes after Shekiyah, after sunset is already Rabbeinu Tam. Here we have the minhag, right, like in Safra, in Aventura, and also New York, that anyway, our Tzeta Shabbat is 42 minutes after Shekiyah. Other synagogues here in the area, they're doing 36 minutes after Shekiyah, which means that if you pay attention, Tzeta Shabbat, coming out of Shabbat for them, is going to be around 5 minutes earlier than our Tzeta Shabbat. And the reason why is because we do 42 minutes after Shekiyah, 42 minutes after sunset, and they're doing 36, but we're doing exactly the way that they do it, whether it's Safra in Aventura, whether it's the Sfaradim in New York, and others as well. So if you're already doing Tzeta Shabbat for us 42 minutes, technically speaking, after 8 more minutes, you're already fulfilling the mitzvah of Rabbeinu Tam, according to the Shita of Rav Moshe Feinstein here in America. That's the way of the Shita. Now what happens is as follows. What happens in such a case where it's for sure after the time of Tzeta Shabbat? Okay, it's for sure after Tzeta Shabbat. Now you want to come and you want to do melacha. So it says, even by doing melacha, you're not supposed to do melacha until after you do Havdalah. Even if it's going to be before the tzibur prayed arvit or before they did Havdalah. However, though, there is a very important minhag brought down to be Mahmid, that you should not do any type of melacha until after the tzibur say Seder Diktusha, and even if they said Ata Marta in the Amidah, it doesn't help. Now why? So listen to this. We're not talking about now Baruch HaMavdim Kodesh Echol, but that will be B'li tomorrow's shiur. However, then now we're talking about, let's say for example, I'm here in the Bet Knesset. Here we're going to do, let's pretend even Rabbeinu Tam. That means we're going to pray Arvit after Rabbeinu Tam. So therefore it's after, it finished Shabbat. There's nothing what to talk about. Finish Shabbat, and now I'm going to do my own private Havdalah. I went into the kitchen, I do my own private Havdalah, and now I'm going to do Melacha. So should I do it or not do it? Says over here, Yesh Nogim Lachmir, not to do it until after they say Seder Diktusha, which means after the Tzibur already finished Arvit, right, towards the end of Arvit, we do Shuva, right, and after Shuva, what we do is we come and we say, right, Yoshev Beset Elyon Ve'ata Kadosh, which is Kiddusha de Sidra. We wait until Kiddusha de Sidra. Why exactly? So listen to the Zohar HaKadosh. The Zohar HaKadosh says, he's talking about very harsh things on somebody that does Melacha Motzei Shabbat before the Tzibur does Kiddusha de Sidra. And they say like this, Makom yesh beGehinam leotam mechalim Shabbat. He says there's a special place in Gehinam for people that are mechaleh Shabbat. V'amavid esh b'motzei Shabbat. And it's somebody that's going to put on a fire. Lav davka fire, it's being that they're doing Melacha on Shabbat, on Motzei Shabbat. Bizman shadayin lo amru Yisrael Kiddusha de Sidra. During the time which they still did not say Kiddusha de Sidra, Hareu gorem beota esh lalik esh hagehinam beot shelo yeh hazman. What he's doing is he's starting, right, the time of the lighting of the fire of Gehinam, even before the time. Veotam hanenashim begehinam, and the ones that are being punished in Gehinam, mekalelim et mi sheidlik ner beot shelo yeh hazman. They're cursing him out. Why? Because he's the one that's starting the fire underneath them. ואומרים עליו את הפסוק, so they come and say, ענה השם מטלטליך, וכל זה הוא משום שאין ראוי להדליק אש, כי יוצאת המשפט, השבת עד שמבדילים ישראל בתפילה מבדילים מהכוס. He says, why? Because they shouldn't do a melacha until Yisrael come, and they're mavdil al hakos, and they do these things. ושעדות השבת של קידושת שבת שולטת עלינו. But then there's still קידושת השבת. וכשנכנסת השבת, and when it comes in the Shabbat, right, הקודש מתעורר ושולט בעולם. There's Kodesh, and then the whole stops. And even after Yetziat Shabbat, until even afterwards, when they're going to come and they're going to do this, it's still going to stop. Which means something incredible that the Zohar HaKadosh is actually saying, that Mishabur actually brings us down and he says, right, that halvai, right, that we don't get Geinam. But we know that even if Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had a doubt where he's going, right, so, halvai that we should get Geinam, as they say, right? But the problem though is, Geinam only starts when we finish Shabbat. Meaning, according to the amount of time that we finish Shabbat, every single Motzei Shabbat, that's the time that the fire of Geinam will not affect every single individual. So if a person does Rabbeinu Tam, no matter if Chas V'Shalom, even if he did go to Geinam, the fire of Geinam will not affect him until Rabbeinu Tam. If it was going to be that it's always 5 minutes even before the Tzibur even come, forget about for he himself that he'll start the fire early on Motzei Shabbat that he gets the burning. Right? The other people are also cursing him out. Why? Because how could it be that he's starting the fire on Motzei Shabbat earlier, right, than what all the other people are actually doing? And therefore it's so important to realize this, because some people, they come and they're like running away from the beracha. The Shabbat brings all the beracha in the world. Why are you running away from a beracha? The biggest beracha is Shabbat. Halvai that Shabbat could continue until Tuesday, until Wednesday, the entire time we just stay into Shabbat. It can't just because of the Kiddush of the time that it doesn't allow. However, though, a person should just understand that what it is, Motzei Shabbat, the beauty of Shabbat, that if they realize the beracha, they're not going to be like running away from Har Sinai, so they're running away from Shabbat. No, the opposite. They're going to realize the Kiddush of the Shabbat, and they're going to try to be careful, and this is what's brought down, whether it's the Zohar HaKadosh, Talmud Yerushalmi, and all the others, and therefore he comes and he says, if a person does melacha before the time of the Tzibur answering V'ata Kadosh of Kiddushat Desira, Eno roeh siman bracha. He doesn't see anyway siman bracha. So a person could come and he's doing melacha and he thinks that he's gaining and he's only losing. But if he doesn't see siman bracha, what's the purpose of doing anything then? Right? So everything that he did, he just actually took it away. And therefore they come and they say that a person should try to be machmir as much as possible, not to do any type of melacha till minimum after the tzibur have already done kiddusha de sidra, and then afterwards they come and they say that. Again, we're not talking about now the bruch mavdil that a person says arvi, doesn't say. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the concept of doing right melacha after he himself even did havdalah. Not a Baruch Haba D'Min Kol Shechol. He did a full Havdalah, but it was before the Tzibur actually came and they finished their Kiddusha de Sidra, their Ve'ata Kadosh on Motzei Shabbat. This is what the Halacha is talking about.